ignorance is not incompatible with belief. We can believe things that we are ignorant of and not realize it, and that's a really bad place to be.
Thank you, guys. We have more questions, James. Nathan Ferguson, if you can hear me, you can unmute and fire away, Nathan.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Wow, I'm just so grateful to be here, and thank you so much. This is the first time I've been to an event like this. I guess my question's for both of you. Maybe start with Tim. Is it McGrew? Is it Professor? Okay, wonderful. Would love to hear your perspective. So my question's maybe a little basic, though I just want to learn some basic definitions for words. I'm wondering, can each of you define for me the difference between belief, knowledge, and ignorance? And if these things, can these words be used to describe our understanding for both things we accept as true as equally as they can for things that we accept are false?
So I'm not sure exactly what you're aiming for. Belief is a propositional attitude so it's a stance that one takes, a mental stance that one takes toward something that can be expressed as a proposition, though it needn't always be thus expressed. Also, it needn't be always explicit. I can believe things tacitly. Like I believe that there are more than 4 people watching this exchange right now, although I hadn't really formulated that, and I think I could have been said to have believed it all along, even before I popped out with it here. Belief, knowledge, I am happy with a little modification of a classic definition of knowledge. I think knowledge is true belief justified by known premises. That's not circular, but it is a recursive definition. And so to get it started, you need there to be some starter set of things that you know. I'm a classical, or at least neoclassical, foundationalist. So I do think that there are some things that we know that can be primitives to start that off. Once you take that definition in a recursive way, that cuts off Gettier problems. So the internalist toolkit is adequate to address those. Ignorance is a state of mind in which one does not know a certain thing, or perhaps whether a certain thing is the case. Ignorance is not incompatible with belief. We can believe things that we are ignorant of and not realize it, and that's a really bad place to be. But some of us are there, and no doubt almost all of us are in that position with regard to some things. Right? The problem is not that that we're wrong. It's that we don't know where we're wrong, so we have to muddle through and try to find a way to identify those things. I think one of the best ways to identify places where you may be wrong and not realize it, or you may be ignorant but believing, is to have discussions like Graham and I and the rest of us have been having. Right? Find the people who are thoughtful, who aren't just going to be your typical trolls or something and throw epithets at you, but who actually are trying to engage with the same set of issues, who at least share a broad range of the same data, but who disagree vigorously with your position, and try to figure out why. Because if we are wrong, then there is no better way that I know for us to find out where we're wrong than by trying to engage with the best people who disagree with us. That seems to just be methodologically the way to go. And that's why I absolutely love the Atheist Christian Book Club, because I think you guys are doing it right. You disagree. You know that you disagree. You trade off selecting books. When I was down there, you were all meeting physically and we had a meal. I am hoping that that might be a possibility when I'm down next, because I don't know whether it was the atheists or the Christians cooking that time, but you guys do a good job. So, Graham, I mean, this is an argument for getting to Texas sometime. All on its own.
Yeah.
Just trust me on this one. Just take my word for it.
Tim, we'll have a dinner. We'll have a Tim McGrew dinner. We'll just get together and do this. We're kind of over COVID, so you can come on down and we'll make you grub.
The last time, I think the atheists were hoping to have me for dinner in a different sense. So but that went well, and I enjoyed it all the same. Now I'm sorry, Nathan. I answered some of your questions, but I think I may have lost the final one. Do you want to just re-articulate that, and then I'll give Graham a go at it?
Yeah, I can repeat it. Can each of you define for me the difference between belief, knowledge, and ignorance? And if these words can be used to describe our understanding for both things we accept as true, as equally as we can for things that we accept as false.
Yeah, I think we can believe things that are true, we can believe things that are false. I'm good old-fashioned correspondence theorist in terms of the definitions of true and false. To say if what is, that it is, or if what is not, that it is not, is to speak the truth. So, yeah, we can believe things and accept them and be wrong. We can believe things and accept them and be right. We can know things that are true. We cannot know things that are false. So that's the one limitation that I would put on that. And that's really all that I've got that can be fit onto the back of an envelope. And if you want more, then we should correspond. I have now put my email address into the chat. So if you want to grab that.
And one last follow-up question, if I may.
Okay.
I'm sorry. And what's the difference between belief and knowledge?
Belief is the propositional attitude that we have when it's fully conscious and not just tacit, is morphs into express assent to something, that you characterize the world as being a certain way in accordance with the proposition believed. Knowledge is true belief that is justified by, in the inferential case, premises that are known. So if you've got a starter set of things that you know, and then those justify other things, and you're right about those other things, then you have knowledge. So it's just a variant on the true justified belief definition, but the recursive case stops getting your problems. Graham, over to you.
Okay, so I don't really have very much to add to what Tim said. I do think that in general, it's often hard to give definitions of philosophical terms, but you can point to examples. And so, I mean, you kind of know what belief and ignorance and knowledge are by examples because you're familiar with them. So I'm kind of quite happy with what Tim said about belief. I'd be more cautious about what he said about knowledge. I'm not sure that anybody's got a very good definition of knowledge, and I'm not sure that matters very much. One other thing that I would say is that there are some people these days who think that kind of if we're thinking about the kind of relative fundamentality of these notions, that the most basic thing is knowledge, and that's a more fundamental state from a theoretical point of view than belief. Whereas when you're thinking, if you're thinking of defining knowledge in terms of justified true belief, that's kind of might tempt you to think that belief is the more fundamental. So,
I would definitely.
Anyway, all of that would head us off into the weeds to pursue that.
Yeah, my view is pretty much the philosophic negative, the photographic negative of Timothy Williamson's view. Justification first, let knowledge fall where it may.
Okay. Thank you, Nathan, for your question.